In my previous video, I showed how to create a desktop application using a framework called Photino. Photino allows the creation of desktop applications using tools usually used for creating web applications. In this case, I use the out-of-the-box Blazor web template. Notice that I said desktop applications, not Windows desktop applications. This is because Photino can be used to create cross-platform desktop applications, meaning we can also target Linux as well as Windows. But more of that later. For all my Blazor projects to date, I've always used Syncfusion controls. I like their community license, the controls themselves, the documentation, and the very helpful response from their support and forum. However, just to try something different, I thought I would have a look at MudBlazor. In this video, I want to enhance the standard Blazor template by implementing the MudBlazor component library. This is an open source library that includes most components a developer would want and will definitely enhance the appearance of a Blazor application. The first component that caught my eye was the draw component, a rather boring name for creating a super slick slide-in menu. In this video, we will install MudBlazor and change the standard look and feel of a Blazor application from this to this, where we have this slide-in menu. Everything else is the same, but I just think it looks better. Right, let's get started. Open Visual Studio if it's not already open and select the Photino demo solution. Now we're going to select Tools, NuGet Package Manager, and this time I'm going to use Package Manager Console. I always like to check to make sure I'm in the right directory, so pwd return should show the right path, and then it's simply a matter of entering .NET add package MudBlazor. And there it is done. To check that, if we open the proj file, the CS_proj file, we'll see here it now includes the MudBlazor version 8.10. We could have simply come in here and just added that, but by installing it this way, we make sure we've got the latest package. Now we need to open imports. And at the end of the file, we need to add using MudBlazor. I'll close this. And now go to program.cs. And we want to add using MudBlazor again, MudBlazor services, up at the top. And be part of the app builder, we need this line. appbuilder.services.add MudBlazor services. Now we go to our index, and we want to add some changes here. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to put in the complete code so you can see what the changes are, and then remove the original. So in the head section, we're adding some lines for fonts and styles, and we're adding the MudBlazor min.js at the bottom here. Right, let me get rid of what was there originally. We now need to change, let's save everything for the moment, and then go to main layout. At the top, we need some required and optional providers, so those go in there. Now, if we save everything, we'll just check that the program runs. So that should have installed MudBlazor. We haven't done anything with it, but we should now see that the program runs. And we've got our application as we had it before, and it all seems to work. Okay, so now we'll add the slide in menu. And this is going to make changes to the main layout, the nav menu and index, and they're all kind of interlinked. So we'll make the changes as we go through. So the first one is on main layout. We've already got this section at the top, but I'm now going to change everything else by removing what we have here and replacing it with this. So we've got a main layout, and at the top here we've got an app bar. This will be a bar that goes across the top of the screen. It'll have an icon, and when we click it, it'll run this code, this draw toggle, which we've got down here, which will either be drawer open or drawer closed. It'll just toggle between the two. Then we've got the drawer itself, and we've got a header, which will have, let's just call it MudBlazor Photino. And then we've got nav menu. So that's going to read what was the old nav menu, but we're now going to replace that. And then we have the container which has the body. So let's have a look at the nav menu. And this is our old code. And we're simply going to replace the whole lot. And it's going to be a lot simpler. So we've got three menu items: the home page, the counter and the weather. We're going to use the icons and then the description. Now we need to make one change to index.html. And that is that we've removed the error handling from main layout, so we need to add it back in here. So we'll add that there. Now there's one last thing I want to do. This stage is optional and doesn't really add anything at this point, but it allows the foundations for a consistent appearance throughout the application. So we're going to add a new file called app theme provider in the root folder of the project. So select add new item, and it's called app theme provider .cs, and the code we want is this. As I say, it doesn't do anything very much. It's a static helper whose sole purpose is to build and expose a customized Mud theme instance for an application. By isolating the palette, typography, spacing and shape, overrides in one place. So it keeps a theme related code out of the layout, ensures consistency across pages and components, and makes future tweaks to colours, fonts, sizing available all in one place. Now to integrate the theme we need to make an amendment to the main layout. So open main layout again, and at the top here we put in the mud provider and then tells it to get the theme. Right, save everything and we'll run the application. And now we've got our lovely slide-in menu. Everything works as before. And just to demonstrate the publication, I'm now going to publish it. And the shortcuts that I ran the original demonstration from should work. So select publish. I'm simply going to republish. That's succeeded. I'm now going to close Visual Studio. I'm going to try my shortcut again. And we get our nice new MudBlazor application with nice slide-in menu. And it works as we would expect. But there is one other thing I want to try. I mentioned that this is a desktop application and that we should be able to target Linux as well as Windows. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to publish to Linux, or at least I hope to. I want to start with a clean slate for publishing for Linux. So the first thing I'm going to do is to delete the bin directory. And here I am in source repos Photino demo. And I'm just going to select that and delete it. Now I'm going to start Visual Studio. I'm going to be using Visual Studio for publishing this. So I choose the project and then publish. And again, just to make sure I start with a clean sheet, I'm going to delete this profile and add a new one. So select add. I want it to go to a folder. I don't want click once. And finish. And close. And what we do here is select show all settings. And we're going to select release CPU. We're going to select the target framework as Net 9.0. And we want here self-contained, and instead of Win x86 we want Linux x64, and on the options here we want to leave both those empty. So I save that and select publish. That's it, published. If we go to the target location, I'm going to go up one level and I'm going to copy the whole of that folder to a USB. I'm then going to take that USB and copy the contents of that folder onto my Linux PC. So I'll see you on the Linux PC with a bit of luck. Before copying to the USB, I just wanted to make one point, and that is you have to go to this target location. If I select that, you'll see that it's bin release net 9 publish Linux x64. If we go up a level to 9, you see that we've got a Linux x64 folder there. It's not that folder we need to copy, but the one that's within the publish folder. With that in mind, I'll now copy it to the USB and transfer it to the Linux machine. Firstly, I think I should probably apologise for the sound quality on this part of the recording. This is using a very old Toshiba and I don't think the microphone works terribly well with it. But anyway, we can see that I've now got the Linux x64 folder copied to this laptop, and it's in the documents folder. What we need to do now is open up a terminal. So I'll select the start and just type in terminal. And again, apologies if this is a little bit small. I want to type in pwd just to check where I am, and I'm in the home CJB folder. I now want to change to the documents folder and then into the Linux x64. So cd documents. Linux is case sensitive, so you've got to make sure you capitalize everything correctly. Now we're in the right folder, we need to change the permission on the executable file which we have, which is called Photino demo. And to do that, we type in chmod, and it is +x. The +x gives permission, -x takes away permission, and then the name of the file, Photino demo. And if that's all worked, we should be able to just type in /Photino demo. And with a bit of luck, the application will run. And there is our lovely Photino demo application running on Unix. It's a bit bigger than I want, but there we go. The one problem with this, not that it is a real problem, is that you'll see that we've got the terminal still open in the background. To get rid of that, we could now browse to the correct file, which is Photino demo, and just double click it. And there we have it. Linux experts will probably tell us how to put a shortcut onto the desktop or something like that, but that's really beyond what I wanted to show you. So there we have it. We have our MudBlazor demonstration working on Unix. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll put some helpful information, if I can find any, in the description. Thank you very much.